Hey guys, welcome back to What You Don't See the podcast. And today we're going to be talking about just crazy stories from when we were young and violent and just crazy things we did as teenagers and even adults.
Violent.
Yes, even as adults.
Share your violent moments with us.
Yes, share your violent moments.
And not that we're asking
us.
for
We're not
violence.
encouraging you
We're not
to
encouraging.
go be violent.
But Ingrid's going to start with the first story.
Our youthful fun times.
Yeah.
Dude, one time back in the day. Okay, so back in the day, you could like freely go into Reynosa and like party over there.
Yeah.
You could party over there. Yes, dude. I think about it and I'm like, holy shit, how could I do all this crazy shit back then? Okay, so you could go to Reynosa and like drink even if you were 16, 17, like the younger the better, like everybody
go to
would just
ranches
cross
and hang out with people. Like,
it was normal to do that, right? Yeah, you could. The house parties were way better. Everything was fun.
Because there was no
Social media.
There was no cameras.
Yeah, there was no proof.
No proof.
Right? Like you could do things and if nobody saw you, it never happened. Right? But anyway, I was crazy enough to like sneak out of my window, which was, right next to the front door, but my parents' room was towards the back. So I would sneak out the window, and my friends would pick me up and then we would drive to Reynosa. How freaking crazy. My parents were asleep thinking that I was also asleep. I think about those things now. I was like, dude, I'm so lucky to be alive because what the heck was I thinking, right? But anyway, my date picked me up, snuck out through the window, drove to Reynosa.
That was the date. We're
Partied
going to
in
Reynosa.
Yeah, we partied at the club over there, crossed back like at 2, 3 a.m.
That's early. For
Got
Reynosa.
dropped off in my, front, the little side of my driveway, and went back right inside the window, to sleep. But like that was super crazy to me because that wasn't even like a date. We just went to go party.
Did you ever get caught?
Yes, but not when I was in Reynosa.
Good.
I did that probably like 2 or 3 times, and then I did get caught. But I think I would like attracted and manifested like the moment you start feeling like fear, like, oh shit, I'm gonna get busted. Like we're already like so far. And then my parents would call me. Like my mom's like, where the fuck are you? What are you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm just here with my friend, my best friend that she knew, right? It's like, I'm just here with Luisito. It's like, I'm just here. He picked me up. We're just here down the street, like cruising it. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, come back home. But yeah, I was pretty bad when I was during my teen years.
Well, I just feel like
25 years old.
Normal.
Yeah.
Reynosa was like normal
the
for my
norm.
parents. Like I was allowed to go to Reynosa, but I could not go to the clubs here.
Oh, yeah.
15-year-old Magda calling her dad to pick her up from the bridge.
The bridge.
And then
Because everybody would go to the clubs.
Everybody would do
in
it.
Reynosa.
It
Yeah.
was normal.
How did it get so dangerous?
Because,
Cartel.
you know what I always think about? Like, it would be so fun for, like, women entrepreneurs from this side and then women entrepreneurs from that side to get together in the little park as soon as you cross the bridge in Hidalgo and host, like, a huge market, like a mix, Mexican-American market. But, dude, it's so dangerous nowadays that I've never, the idea came through and that was it,
Well, even the fear of like a kid coming out and even hanging out with a friend after hours.
Well,
like there's so much murder of best friend killing another best
Yes.
friend. Or like, like it's sick.
You
so
might have
crazy.
one.
What?
Just kidding. There was one person that we talked about that I told Leah that she might be, a little crazy.
Oh.
Don't say that, Magda. Anyway.
No, it's scary.
Yeah.
No, it's somebody that she hangs out with.
There's best friends killing best friends.
Yeah, like they're like we took our friend picked up their daughter. It was like somewhere in I don't know one of the upper states that the little girl went out with her friends, her best friends, and then she never returned and that she went missing and they ended up killing her.
That was gonna happen to me. I was about what? Maybe 17, 18, and we were at a club here. And we would always go to Mexico. But we were at a club here, about 17. And then the week before that, I was in Mexico and this guy named Frank was hitting on me. And he's the one that gave us all a ride back. Well, I didn't know Frank was messing around with this other one girl. And I'll say her name, Natalie, because she still wants to kill me for that. She really does. She
Are
still
you
holds
serious?
it against me, yes. So, no, I'm not kidding, But I have her blocked from everything. So,
She won't see this.
she won't see it. And she does, it's okay. She'll remember this. So Frank was hitting on me. So when he dropped us off back, I was the second to the last to get dropped off. I wasn't the last one. Okay, that happened. I had no clue. I wasn't interested in Frank. The weekend comes and we're all dancing, and this girl, my friend's friend, looks at me on the dance floor and calls me a bitch. And in my head, I'm like, oh, like, hey, bitch, right? We're really cool. We're friends. We're friends. So then my friend Mark, I love him to death, been my friend since we were 14. We were dancing together, and he caught on to that. I didn't. I had been drinking. So we're leaving, and they start telling me, hey, let's go to Mexico. We're all going to Mexico afterwards. And Mark's like, oh, she's not going.
What the fuck? They want to leave you over there.
Yes. And I'm like, I want to go to Mexico. And Mark's like, you're not going to Mexico. We're leaving right now.
Oh, good.
Because I'm not aware of my surroundings. My best friend gets mad at me for that till this day. So then we're about to leave because Mark wasn't letting me go to Mexico. And that's when all of a sudden, all this hell broke loose. I see a punch coming towards me. I see Mark punch her.
Oh, wow. We all need a Mark in our lives.
Oh, yeah, yes. He punched her.
Oh, my God.
And chaos broke loose, right?
Wow.
And Mark just took me away. And their thing was they wanted to take me to Mexico to beat me up in Mexico and leave me in Mexico.
Oh, my
Because
God.
the girl that got dropped off last, that later on did me a favor without me asking her because she wanted to apologize for what happened, right? Because she lied. She was the one that messed with the guy, not me. So she blamed it on me. So this girl was upset.
Oh, wow.
She's
Oh
so
my God.
mad that maybe about 6 years ago at a crawfish boil, my friend, one of my really good friends, happened to have met her on Tinder, and she shows up with him to the crawfish boil. She looks at me and she left. She was so angry.
Oh my
She's
God.
still angry about
So
it?
this, if I comment on somebody and she's friends with that person, she's going to harass me on so I had to block her.
Okay, we're gonna change the name of this episode to crazy shit that's happened to you, because we went from the dating to like, what the fuck is this girl doing? I have a crazy experience.
Wait, so we're really changing this
We're
episode?
changing the
Yes,
episode.
with
Okay.
Natalia too.
Oh,
and-
is it the same one?
We'll just make two. We'll make it
No.
second.
But that was okay. So, do you guys have a crazy story before my?
No, go.
Yes.
Dude, okay, this is fucking crazy. So I was dating this guy, right? And he was my boyfriend. And then my best friend, she was also dating, a guy. And so we would all hang out together, go out, yada, yada, yada. My boyfriend at the time, he was cheating on me with friends that she also knew. And she knew, and her boyfriend knew, right? So I'm finally over him. I start doing my own thing, going out, like seeing other dudes, whatever. And this freaking girl tells me like, hey, let's meet up at Starbucks. Let's go to Starbucks. Let's hang out. Let's have a coffee and let's talk about, like your ex, whatever. And so there I go to fucking Starbucks, get out of my house. Dude, fuck, this is so crazy. I'm like, fucking bitch, dude. Like, how could she do that to me? They had this plan where my ex-boyfriend goes to my house to tell my mom that he had sex with me and that I wasn't a virgin anymore.
What?
And she took me out of my house with her boyfriend so that he could go to my
do it.
house
Oh my
and do that shit. So then I'm here at the fucking coffee shop, like having my fun,
Latte.
like just chilling with her and the boyfriend. And my mom calls me. It's like, get the fuck asshole, what the heck is this guy doing here? Talking shit about you, yada, yada, yada. Dude, I couldn't fucking believe it. So then I go home. My mom slaps me like in front of them, like freaking embarrassment of my life, you know.
So they got what they
God,
wanted.
wow.
They got what they wanted,
Wow.
you know? And then after that, of course, never
Wow.
again did I talk to them. Till this day, like, she tried to kind of like come up to me a few times in my old business, like, cause she was going through, you know, health problems and stuff. And of course, I always, I'm not about the past or anything, but dude, it's never gonna be the same. And yes, I'm gonna give you tips and everything. And I'll love you from afar, but like, I will never be your friend
You
anymore.
are too
No.
good. I would
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, you are out of my life.
Yeah, so
advice to you-
that was
Okay,
a super shitty thing that happened
How
to
old
me.
were you?
Like 19, 20.
That was pretty messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And at that age,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been so betrayed by like women before that older Ingrid had like a hard time like connecting or like
Because we talked about that when we were
Yeah.
in New York. How hard it was sometimes to connect with females.
to connect with
because
females.
of your past.
past experiences or past. Yeah.
that was, I think, the only time somebody wanted to take me out to another
Literally,
country.
literally take you out.
Take
I
me
had,
out.
I had an
That's bad.
experience
Yeah.
where this chola wanted to beat me up
Oh yes, I had a chola
in
wanting to beat me
8th
up,
grade.
too.
And I didn't even know why. And like I was like super innocent, like I was like naive to that kind of stuff, right? And so I was just like, I thought everybody liked me. And then I was walking down the hallway and she pushed me one day and I was like, well, what happened? I was like, oh, excuse me. Because I was like, oh, she must have fell or tripped or, pushed me by accident. I'm always like, excuse me. And then she just looks at me and she cussed something and she walks off. And I was like, what was that about? Right. And then another friend comes up to me and she's like, she's mad because the guy she likes you. And I'm like, I don't even know the guy she likes. Like, I don't even know what her circle is. Right. I wasn't talking to guys I just didn't talk to boys at that time. I wasn't allowed. So then the next week or two, then I started hearing she's going to beat you up. She's going to look for you at lunch. And I was like, beat me up? I don't even know how to fight. Like, I don't, you need to teach your kids self-defense. One thing, okay?
Yes.
I didn't even know how to fight. So then I was like, oh my God. So then I would go to the teacher's room and have lunch in the teacher's room with the teacher for like 3-4 times because I was like scared that I was going to get my ass kicked and I didn't know how to fight. And I didn't even know this guy, right?
Yeah.
And then, so all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I can't live. And then I talked to myself after the fourth day. I was like, I can't live in the teacher's room.
Yeah.
And the teacher came up to me and she was like, are you okay? Is everything okay? You've been coming here every day. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine. So I went the next day and I went to the lunchroom and I was like, whatever it is, it's going to be and I'll figure it out from here. I walk into the lunchroom and I see her running towards me to beat the shit out of me. And another Chola friend stood up and they started fighting and they went at it. They just went at it. And I was like, what the? Right. And so people just started pulling apart, right? Because the whole lunchroom was like on fire.
Wow.
And then I
That
go
was all for you?
Well, I go out, right? And then I go to class and I was like, what happened? They were like, you don't know what happened? They got in a fight over you. And I was like, over me? And she's like, yeah. The other Chola says you're a really good person and that she really likes you and that if she was going to mess with you, she was going to defend you and beat the shit out of her because you don't fight. So she's like, so you had a friend in your back corner from the Chola group, right? And so they got into it. And then the next year, the both Cholas were in my class because we were in like sewing economics or something like that. And I was helping them out. And then the girl that wanted to beat my ass, she was like, I'm sorry, I wanted to kick your ass. She was right. You're a really good friend. I'm glad she defended you.
Oh my God.
Over a guy. I didn't even know.
That you didn't
I
even
still
know.
don't even know who the guy was.
Yeah.
Till this day.
To this day. I have been in a fist fight as an adult.
What?
No.
Leah,
How old?
I cannot see you in a fist fight. How old were you?
College. It's college. Yeah.
Okay, tell us. I want to hear.
With my sister-in-law.
Okay. I was waiting. I was like, was it with
Sister.
Yeah, my brother's
or
wife.
another one?
Yeah, my brother's wife. Because I could not stand her at the time.
Are they still married?
Yeah.
y'all were
Okay.
best
No. She's like one of my best friends now. Like we're really good. She was one of my maids of honor. But at the time, because I was friends with her from middle school, right? my brother, he was the older brother, right? Well, our senior year of high school, I introduced them and they start dating, right? Like, okay, whatever, like, it's fine. But here's the kicker. We had already decided that when we moved to Austin for college, we were going to live together in the same dorm. So when we were moved in together in Austin, she was dating my brother. So when I would come home for the holidays, she was always at my house with my brother. And I was like, I cannot get away from you. Like, I cannot stand you. Because a dorm room's tiny, right? And like, I'm always with her. We had the same group of friends. We were partying together. And then I would come home and she was at my house. And I don't have any sisters, so I'm not used to being around a girl that much. So I grew to hate her. I'd be like, dude, you are always in my life. Like, get
Out of my space. Give me space.
And so the tension was just building and building and building. And it was mostly me against her. I'll admit that. I was the one that was like, you are so annoying. Like, I cannot stand you. Like, anyway, so finally, after a few years, this was like junior year of college, we were at a house party. And at this point, I'm just like, I hate her so much. And she would like playfully threw a Frisbee at me. And I was like, oh, hell no. She like playfully threw a Frisbee at me. I was drinking a tall boy of PBR. Y'all know the beers?
No.
Okay, PBR is like this hipster beer. And it was like a tall boy, like a long one. And I went up behind her and I poured it all over her head. I poured it all over her.
God.
Just because she playfully threw a Frisbee at me. We were at a house party. She playfully threw a Frisbee at me and I snapped. I took the beer, I poured it all over her. She turns around and she like attacks me and we're fighting. I broke her necklace. No, she broke my necklace. She broke my necklace. I say I won because she was the one left with any sort of wounds. The only thing I had was a broken necklace. She had a bruise because I bit her really hard.
No.
It was like, it was one of those ugly, like hair pulling, like biting, like ugly.
Who separated you guys?
Well, so we were at a house party, a bunch of college students. My boyfriend at the time and our other friends like pulled us apart, and it was funny because when we got pulled apart, she was like drenched in like beer, and her mascara was like running, and she was like screaming, and then we had to ride home together because we all rode in the same car over there.
And y'all lived together.
No, at the time we were not living together. This was our junior year. We were living in different apartments. And our friends, for whatever reason, wanted to keep drinking after the fight. Like, I don't know why they wanted to keep drinking. They're like, we're going to go to Julia's apartment. And Julia's like, no, she's not allowed in my house, blah, 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 blah. So then her and my brother broke up for a little bit. And I think it was my fault. Yeah, I think it was my fault. They ended up back together. Now they're married and she's like my best friend. So like all of this, like we actually came back from that. We didn't talk to each other for like a few months and then we met up for coffee and I straight up told her, I was like, I just don't like you. Like, I don't like you. I'm sorry. I don't like you. You annoy me. You're always around. Like, I just don't like you. And then after college, I learned the error of my ways and I was like, okay, she's a really good friend, she's really loyal, like blah blah blah. So we forgave each other and now we're really really close. But that is the fist fight that I got in as an adult, a full grown woman getting in a fist fight.
I've never gotten in a fight.
Really?
Yeah.
I never have
In middle school they threw an egg at me. A chola threw an egg at me we were in line for lunch, and I just fucking feel the egg like
an actual
egg.
In middle school.
In middle school,
that seems like it would hurt.
I would always get bullied. I don't know why. I was just cute. I was, and guys, like little boys, liked me and stuff. And I've always been like petite, and you know. So I think they just hated on me, and they threw an egg. And they took me to the office. They called my parents. My dad was like, this is the last thing. Like, you're going to private school, girl. I was like, you're out of
Did the egg break on you?
Yes, dude.
So you had like egg everywhere. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I got bullied a lot.
That is horrible.
Yeah, I got bullied a lot. But, I mean, I'm here.
I lost a best friend. I would do a lot for her. even after we had graduated from high school. I would do a lot for her. She was always at my house with her daughter. Like I was very close to her. And then one of the guys that she was around told her that he had slept with me, and I would never like do that. And I was like, I cannot believe you would even believe that. And she was like livid, but she wasn't in a good space either. She was not in a good space. So just recently, a couple of days ago, she apologized.
No way.
And she said that
Weird.
Mercury retrograde.
She said to me that the guy admitted to her a few years ago that he was mad at her because she had gotten back with her ex and he wanted to hurt her.
Oh no.
So he knew we were best friends,
He
and
just
he
had to throw
wanted
you in the
to
mix.
break us up because he was so hurt about her going back to her ex. So then we never spoke. I mean, I was like, if you believe that about me, you're not my friend.
Yeah, that happened to me too. But they had broken up, and then I started hanging out with him, but only because I liked his brother, and so we would hang out. I would hang out with the brother, and he would just happen to be around. So then she went against me, like, "Oh, you're banging him, blah blah
You're
blah."
with my
Like,
ex,
I
yeah.
never
Why
ever.
do girls do that? Like, why?
Well, okay, but it's super
Fight for a
weird.
man.
There's my husband always tells me, like, women are so weird because if you guys are best friends, it means that you guys like the same things. You guys have a lot of things in common. It's like, so like it happens, especially maybe not much when you're older, but when you're younger, that I don't know, you're the best friend and you like the boyfriend, right? Or vice versa. That would always happen to me. Like when Albert started like hitting on me, my best friends would like one, not all of one specifically. He would be like sitting down, I'd be like DJing, we'd be like drinking, having fun.
Oh, you mentioned that.
And she would go up to him and like grab his leg, you know, or like
No.
yeah, like she even
those things are
brought up like
inappropriate.
she brought up like a threesome and stuff. Like what the fuck? Like no,
What?
and I didn't even like him like that in at the time, but you know I was like no, dude, I don't like that shit.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's happened to me.
Hers wasn't about a guy.
No.
No.
I just hated her at the time.
I just hate it.
Yeah.
You
I was
just
just
needed
like,
space.
I cannot be in the same room where you are breathing because I'm so annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten in a fight over a guy.
I don't think I've ever fought over a guy.
I've never fought. I got beat. They were trying to beat me up. But
Have you been in a fist fight?
No, but I put myself in situations where I could have.
Yeah.
My niece Gabby,
But you have so many sisters. Y'all never fought? Well, I guess they're older.
yeah, they were okay. So that was something else. My sister would hit me a lot, so I would let my nails grow.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I would scratch. Like the way I would defend myself was like she would slap me, and I would just go, and I would get the nail fighter, and I would be going like this. I was like, "What are you doing? I want to get you." I was real mean because they were very mean to me, so I would always
prepare.
I was always ready.
Gonna get you.
That's what my mama would say. She's a leona, right? But man, I lost where I was going.
Fist fights.
Oh yes, when Gabby was little, some girls were bullying her, and she comes and she tells me that they're bullying her. I'm like, where are they? They're at the park. Okay, let's go. So there goes Magda to the park to go fight these girls. Thank God they didn't fight me back. It would have been over for me. And then they would hit my little brother. I would go. I would have my neighbors, they would line up, right? Because they would pick on my little brother. I would slap them. But they would get in line for it.
Oh, they were just like, oh, yes, a girl's touching me.
Boom, the next one. I remember I slept 3 in a row.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
But
And
never.
they were okay with it. They're like, fine.
Oh, yeah. They put themselves
Let me
in
line up
line.
again.
And I remember so clear because we were next to my dad's car because I told him, let's get away from my dad's window so he doesn't see, right?
Oh my God.
So I'm slapping all these kids. But one of them was my age. So I never,
Thankfully, they never hit you back.
thankfully, because I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do.
I had a guy try to hit me because I slapped him, because he would grab my hair. He would touch me. I was always touching me, and we were going up the bus. And finally, one time, I was just so sick of it, and he kept grabbing my hair and like pulling me, right? And I was like in 6th grade, and he was probably an 8th grader. So I finally just turned around and I slapped the shit out of him. And then I sat down and he got up to punch me. He went at me. I remember seeing his fist come at me, and this tall, big dude got up in front of him and said, "You touch her again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." Ooh. And I was just sitting there like, but it's because he wouldn't just, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I tried to stab somebody with a pencil when I was little.
Why?
I did. I just remember. And I was only like maybe 7. Mm-hmm. I would walk home from school, and there was this Albert. He passed away. They called him Fat Albert because he was a big boy, right? And back in the day, you know that movie, that cartoon. So Albert, yes. So Albert would always. He was behind my nephew and I, and he was picking on us and picking on us and picking on us, and this was every day. And then one day he threw a stick, and I still have like the little scar where I got stabbed with the stick. In my head, I had my pencil, and I turned around and I poked him. In my head, I thought he was gonna pop. Isn't that crazy?
You thought he was gonna pop?
I was 7, and he didn't. So we
like
just
in
ran.
the cartoons.
And he didn't, so we just ran. Do you think it broke skin?
No, I don't even think I did any damage.
Like a little poke.
Yes. But I remember running. My nephew and I were just like running for our lives to go home. They didn't chase us after that. But it was in my little head, I thought, I'm gonna pop him. I got this. I'm
gonna pop him.
I got this.
How old were you when you tried to fight the girls at the park?
Maybe like 12.
They're at the park. Okay, I'm gonna go fight them. How old was Gabby?
Gabby was Gabby's like a lot, like 10 years younger than I am.
I was gonna say you had to have been older than that.
Maybe no Gab. Okay, so
Older
where
than
we
12.
lived,
Yeah.
where we lived, I had Gabby fighting, and
What do you mean?
at 4 or 5,
You would fight her
yes,
like dogs or like
dogs,
or like roosters.
Yes, yes. So
Oh my
we lived on South McAllen, which
La
was
McAllen.
La McAllen. It was ghetto as fuck, right?
La McAllen.
So we were wild kids. We spent the whole time till midnight at the park, and we were little.
Back then was so much fun because we would just like
It was
climb
fun because
trees.
we could dog fight our sisters.
Yeah. Dog fight our sisters.
I was walking home in kinder. Like there was
It was so different.
It was different.
It was so different, yeah.
But
Just
how did
like
you
you're
fight
saying-
Gabby? Sorry.
So, So we had this fight against my neighbors, right? They were all chunky.
You're
we were all
talking about
skinny.
lymphatic.
Yes, that Gabby.
Okay. So they were all chubby and we were skinny. So they were called spaghetti meatballs, and they would call us the spaghetti, right? So that was like spaghetti meatball. and Meatballs had a little sister, and we had a little one.
Oh
Gabby was ready to fight anyone, right?
So cute.
So we would plan the fights, and there was an empty lot between us, and Gabby and Sarita would go in there, and they would
Wow.
As a matter of fact, no, it wasn't Sarita. That was your client. No, it wasn't Sarita. Was it Sarita? No. It was the other neighbor across the street. Ashley, we would fight them, and Gabby would always win.
Like you would train her. Okay, Gabby, like
You're gonna fight. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that, and Gabby would go in there. It's like, I'm ready.
Poor Gabby.
That's crazy. She looks so sweet, Gabby. Like
I'm
she would kill a
ready.
fly.
And she was
I'm ready.
tiny. So no, I would say I was maybe 14. Gabby was 5. I don't know.
Dude.
Like Gabby was little.
And you were slapping little kids?
Yeah. No, the boys, they were older.
Okay.
They were all like maybe, there was one my age, Joel, and then there was a few that were younger. But we would I would get them in line.
We were wild.
We
were wild
We
kids.
were wild kids.
Yeah, we were wild.
We think about it now. So I had her fighting, right? And then I would dress her up in aluminum foil because I wanted to be a fashion designer, right?
Oh my God, aluminum foil.
Yes. My mom used to have a shiver
Because you'd waste all the aluminum foil. You know how expensive that shit is?
I'm like, Mom, I'll iron it back.
I'll iron it back.
So
Okay, well, this episode turned into what? What did it turn into?
Shit that's happened to us in the past.
Fighting.
Oh my
Fighting.
God.
We're fighting.
We didn't even finish
Standing
talking
up for
about our
yourself.
dates.
I know. Yeah.
And I
I
had a
know.
weird one because I cut a little boy's eye and he bled. He had to go get stitches. When
On
I
a
was
date?
I was in six. I was in 6 years old. I was
On
in
a
first
date.
grade.
Sorry, I thought we were going back to the date.
No,
And then?
no, I was in first grade because again he wouldn't stop touching me.
Yeah.
And I was running around the playground and to get away from him. And I would tell the teacher, tell him to stop touching me. Tell him to stop touching me. And she would, it's because he likes you. And I'm like, I don't want him to touch me.
Still, don't touch
Right, don't
yeah.
touch me. And then so finally nobody listened to me. So I was in the park in the playground and he would start chasing me to touch me. So I got sick and tired of it. I picked up a rock, I looked at him and I flung it. I flung it at him and it cut him right here in the eye.
Did you
And
get in trouble?
Yes, they took me to the principal's office. They called my mom in.
Well, he shouldn't have been touching you.
Well, he had to go get stitches. He had to go to the emergency room.
That's what he gets.
And so, but then after that, he never touched me again.
Good.
That's what
Good.
sometimes kids need that.
Yeah.
They
Anyway,
do, they
Boundaries.
clearly
Anyways,
we can
with the
all be
rock.
violent people.
Yes, it's in all of us.
but
It was in my past.
Don't touch me.
I'm not violent no more.
I'm still violent.
I was gonna say I might still
Yeah,
be
I
violent.
might still
Don't
be
touch me.
violent.
I
We'll
might
be
be
fine.
violent.
I haven't been violent in such a long time that just don't try me because I might just like
The
explode
last
on you.
time that I was violent, I was, my neighbor across the street recently, like maybe 2 years ago, because my ex-boyfriend got embarrassed and he went inside the house because he didn't want to see it.
What?
Because my neighbor from across the street was doing a lot of damage around the house. Like he wrecked my son's ex-girlfriend's car. He broke them because he would get drunk. So he had done some damage to my neighbor's mailbox, and my neighbor had asked him not to park his cars on the side of the road. So I'm getting home from work, and I see my neighbor twitching and pissed off, and this guy fighting with him. That brought the
Insinuated.
ghetto out in me.
La McAllen.
La
La
McAllen came out. I was like, my ex-boyfriend was like, you didn't even park the car right. I was like,
Oh.
and I put it on park, and I go over there, and I push Juan aside. I'm like, what's going on? Right? And then this Juan's like, poor Juan, he could have he's an older man.
Yeah.
He was twitching, and I'm like, if he tells you to move your fucking car, you move your fucking car. No, because it's
God.
public property, and we just,
And your boyfriend went inside. He's like, "Oh,
yeah.
I'm not getting
And
involved."
then my other neighbor.
Not even defending.
Oh, no, he did not even try.
I
He
would have
was
told my
like,
husband, get your ass out here.
they could have punched me, and this guy was inside. My son was the one that came out.
Oh,
And then my neighbor sees me fighting, and then another one comes out and takes over.
oh,
No.
good.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the guy did not park his vehicle because he would get drunk and
Yeah.
just park anywhere and hit
And
everybody.
destroy.
And destroy.
Yeah.
Yes. We finally got them kicked out.
Good.
good.
I called the brother that he was renting the house from, and I'm like, I'm giving you a fair warning. If you don't do anything about it, we're gonna come back and sue you, and we'll figure it out how. I said, but there's many reasons.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, they were all out.
What is this
Anyway,
episode?
thank you guys for listening
What
to
is this episode?
Basically, don't mess with us. Don't mess with that
No,
is
que
the
no miras. La McAllen.
Yeah, La McAllen.
Oh, I love La McAllen. It was like the best neighborhood
look
to
at
go.
no
I
Yes.
think I like that, like, we all have like humble beginnings, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I'm from a rough neighborhood myself called Primera. It's outside of Harlingen.
It's probably the
La
size
Jolla.
of La McAllen.
La Jolla.
Chile, tomate, cebolla. Nadie en la gana en la joya.
Wow.
I've never
Damn,
heard that
Sarah.
before.
Anyways, looking at me.
Anyways.
So don't mess with us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.